Yo, what's good, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sistas review. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody if you choose to, but if not, just sit back, relax while we get into this thing. Now, I'm about to say something that I haven't said in a very, very long time. This was actually a really good episode. I was pleasantly surprised that for me, this was one of the best episodes I've seen in a long time, writing wise, for various reasons. But we're just going to go ahead and get into this review. I'm kind of going to be jumping a little bit, not going to go in chronological order, but we are going to start at the beginning of the episode. When this episode opens, Karen is coming home. Danny comes in. Pam has Karen's entire front of her apartment, double everything, double strollers, car seat, breast pumps. It's double everything up in there. No one has informed Pam that, unfortunately, one of Karen's daughters passed away. She has no earthly idea. I am curious as to why they did not write for Danny to just go ahead and tell Pam in that moment, because it was a minute, possibly a minute and 30 seconds before Karen shows up. But Danny didn't tell her. So when Pam sees Karen, of course, that's her girl. She's happy. She's excited. And she's like, there she is. Let me see them babies. Already, Karen gets a verbal reminder of what she does not have. Went into the hospital with 2 babies, came out with 1. And Karen just was like, I can't do this. I thought her reaction was appropriate. I thought it was honest, because it was so much. She comes in, she's looking around, she's seeing 2 of everything, knowing that she only has 1 baby. That I can only imagine what hit her emotionally during that time. And it was just a lot. One thing I will say that I enjoyed when it comes to this episode is that we were able to see the ripple effect of how Karen's misfortune of losing her child and what the sisters experience with their friends' journey of childbirth, how it has affected all of them to a certain extent. And I believe that the writer did a great job, and I wish I would have got the name, but I don't. I'll get it later. How they displayed that with all of the women in some way, shape, or form. And I really want to talk about Andy, because for the first couple seasons of Sistas, there was a heavy reliance on the friendship and the sisterhood dynamic between Andy and Karen. And over the past couple seasons, we have slowly seen that drift away as Andy became closer to Fatima. And it was, I don't know what word I want to use, but it was wholesome to see Andy show her emotions, because we normally don't see that. Yeah, Andy cry and Andy whine, but it's normally about something that is extremely vain. But it was interesting seeing how, even though her and Karen may not have the closeness in their relationship, the way that she feels as watching her friend go through what she has gone through and what she is going through, and knowing that there is nothing she can do to fix it. There is nothing that she can do or say to make Karen feel better. It's almost like a sense of hopelessness in a sense. But to be able to release that with Fatima, I'm glad that we got that, because over the past, almost like the inception of the show, it almost appears that Karen is the only sister that has to suffer through her actions, suffer through her decisions and certain consequences and whatever else the writers want to throw her way. And when it comes to the other characters on this show, things just happen for them a little too easily. Things happen, they get rewarded, they get $75,000, they become managing partner, and they don't deserve it. They hit a lick and get all this money, Zach, get a new house, a new car, all this stuff. And then you have one particular character that seems to just get the short end of the stick every time. So for me as a viewer, it was becoming unrealistic. Even with the character of Zach, things would happen. Zach would throw money at it, and it's no longer a problem. We never really had to see him suffer through something. So I think a lot of people are upset to see Zach go through what he's going through. I'm not upset, because in my eyes, it's about damn time. It's about damn time for everybody to feel what real life feels like. Karen should not be the only character that is experiencing life on this show. And whoever this writer is, I am grateful that we are spreading this thing around. I ain't getting too happy because I know they don't like Karen, so that's always going to be first and foremost. But I am excited to see all of the characters really be stretched in this way. I'm excited to see Fatima being stretched as a character, to see Crystal being stretched as an actress, because a lot of times her character don't do nothing. And I have been saying that for several seasons, that Fatima just coasts through the show. But she's been placed in a situation where she can't fix Zach. There is nothing she can do. She can't fix Zach. She can't call madam. Nothing can be done about what Zach is enduring. You just have to go through it. And I'm so excited to see how she maneuvers in this space, knowing that she cannot fix this situation. And then there was a brief moment with her and Zach in the morning. She fixed breakfast and, she said good morning. I don't know if Zach mumbled under his breath, but, it wasn't really audible that you can hear him. And Fatima was like, I said good morning. I said, now, ma'am, sis, it ain't that important that man says good morning to you. Understand that Zach is going through grief, heavy grief. He lost his child. He held his dead baby in his hand. To go through the ups and downs of knowing a possibility of stillbirth, a possibility of Karen not making it. It's a lot of stuff going on. Jasmine was taken out in front of him. It was a lot. You know what I'm saying? He has gone through a lot. Not that Fatima hasn't, because she was a great advocate for Karen during that time. And then we also saw how Fatima was in a, kind of blaming herself. Maybe if I would have did this. And I know there is a sense of guilt with a lot of people in this situation. And I'm just grateful that we are able to hear them express it verbally. That it's not just to be assumed or implied, but we're actually hearing their feelings, their emotions about this entire situation. I am grateful for that. We have a beautiful moment between Aaron and Zach. Aaron comes over to, basically to offer his condolences, to let Zach know that he's there for him. And he comes with, donuts in hand. That's right, baby. Zach is going through something. Bring that brother some comfort food. You know what I'm saying? He did his big one. And it was just really beautiful to see Zach kind of break with Aaron. When they embraced, to me, it was almost like Zach didn't want to let him go, and he cried a little bit before they broke their embrace. And I just think that's so important, because both of them are going through a journey of grief. Even though it was Zach's child that passed away, they both had a connection with both children. They were looking forward to having these two girls in their lives, and now there's only one. So it's a lot of stuff. The episode was still heavy. However, I do thank God for Maurice and Paige and Pam, who were able to provide some comedic relief. I ain't talk about that banner. Y'all, this banner was so funny because it said, welcome home, Zakisha, and I think it said Aaronette. I said, baby, who in the hell came up with these names? Pamela, we already know. Baby, that was right up Pam alley, and it was absolutely hilarious. Now, let's deal with this foolishness. Well, before I get to that, Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa been getting on my nerves for these past, a few episodes before we got to season 9. I don't like how she kicked her game, but anyway, I understand that Miss Lisa is in a position where she does not know what to say. She does not know what to do. She is pushing Karen to do a lot that the girl is just not able to do, period. I understand you want her to get up and walk because you don't want her to get blood clots. She needs to move so there's no low energy. She needs to connect with her daughter, Faith. I get that, but right now, ma'am, she just can't do. So when Karen went off a little bit and Miss Lisa was like, wait, who the hell you talking to? I'm your mother. I'm like, Miss Lisa, baby, I get it. I do. And trust me, I understand, but this ain't the time. And I think one of the things about when you are experiencing grief with someone and you're close to that person, you have to allow them to go through that. And I understand that you want to make sure that people are okay. You want them at their best state, but they are not in a place to be at their best state. And it is going to bother you. And that's okay. Then you got to do it, whatever you have to do to be okay. And no, they are not okay. And there's nothing I could do to make them okay, because what Karen is experiencing, nobody understands. Nobody in her circles understands what that feels like but her. No one can even come close to the feeling except Zach. And we ain't got to that part yet. So we know it's going to be somewhere soon where these two actually have interaction with one another. So the foolishness. Rich shows up to Sabrina's job, starts an argument. First of all, you bald-headed bastard, why are you there? I need to explain. Then he becomes condescending. Then he begins to try to gaslight Sabrina. He acts like Sabrina is stupid. That's the thing I don't like about Rich. You come to this woman's job. She doesn't want anything to do with you. She's dealing with Sabrina was telling Karen, it's going to be okay. And Karen told her nothing is going to be okay. Like, my baby is gone. And Sabrina felt bad because she knows, like, I want to help my friend, but I can't help my friend. And everybody was feeling that. Even Andy. Andy, has great things going for her. And she doesn't even know how she should feel. Should she feel happy? My friend isn't happy. And one of the things I thought that was so great about Andy's conversation with Fatima is that Andy was in that moment rationalizing like how she feels, breaking down like her emotions. And I thought that was big because we normally do not see that from the character of Andy. Andy was able to express the hurt that she felt, the pain that she felt from losing forever. And she knows how she feels, so she can't even imagine how Karen feels. But also on the other side of that coin, the sheer happiness and joy she feels, that Faith is still here. It's that tug of war. So if Andy is feeling that way, you just only imagine, the tug of war and all these other different emotions that Karen is going through. So when we get to Sabrina basically is telling Maurice, like, I said the wrong thing. I don't know what to say. And then here comes Rich. As I stated, I don't know why he's there. Sabrina and Rich are not together. She returned his stuff, yet he feels that he needs to make a special appearance to the bank to talk to Sabrina about what happened with him and Penelope. Baby, we all know what happened with you and Penelope. Y'all had sex. There is nothing to talk about. There's nothing to discuss. Rich brings up to Sabrina that she had sex with Dominique. We all know that's not true, but you know how it be. When you wrong, well, you did this. There is no proof of that. You only saying this to make yourself feel less guilty for what you did. And why do you feel guilty when y'all weren't together, boo? Get the hell out of my face. I don't understand why Sabrina feels she owes Rich conversation, that she owes Rich time and space into her life, but she continues to do so. And I don't understand why she feels it's necessary. So while all this is going on, who shows up? Penelope. I said, baby, all y'all need y'all ass beat. Because why are you at my job? Now I'm going to give it up to Maurice and Paige for giving me the good laughs that I needed. Baby, when Maurice called Penelope meat mouth, I said, baby, I ain't never heard a more degrading way to get on somebody for giving head. Meat mouth, oh, that's a good one. I laughed hysterically. And then he called her put out Penelope, because that's exactly what that heifer does. She puts out to any and everybody. You got a penis, she'll put out. Oh, you got a penis too? She'll put out for you too, boo. That's just what Penelope does. And it's sad that they have degraded her character to be the sister hoe, but that's exactly what that heifer is. She comes to see Sabrina. Paige told her, baby, we will jump you, whore. Marie said, it's hoe. Paige said, oh, hoe. I said, baby, I can't deal with y'all, but y'all funny. We need that. We need the comedic relief, and I'm glad that they were able to give it to us. I don't know why Penelope is there. I have no earthly idea why she's there. I want Sabrina to beat her ass, but I don't want Sabrina to catch an assault charge, and I don't want Sabrina to go to jail. Then we get to the other level of foolishness. This is the most diabolical foolishness. We see Danny and Tony. Tony has decided to quit. Tony has decided to quit his job and stay in Atlanta because, and I quote, Danny, there is nothing more important to me than you and our relationship. I said, oh, what? So you just forgot about your 2 children in Italy? You forgot about your 2 children who are in another country? You forgot about your 2 children who you are financially responsible for? You quit your job, and not just a job, not just a supervisor. For those who didn't know, Tony is the vice president of an airline. The vice president, you know how much money vice presidents make of an airline? And you quit your job because you want to be with Danny? A woman who baby, I don't even understand. A woman who doesn't even want to be with you. A woman who was preparing herself to not be with you romantically. This is who you want to be with. Who doesn't even appear to be happy that you chose her and you chose to stay. That's who you want to build the life with? If I didn't think that Tony was dumb, oh, he's dumb now. There is nothing that man can do or say that would make me think otherwise. It's the mere fact that you put this woman above the livelihood of your children. Yes, his wife is ex-wife, is in the military, and I'm sure she is, okay financially. It doesn't matter. You have a responsibility to your kids, and you being a man who about to be sitting on your ass and not working, I have a huge problem with that. I don't know what I don't know what they doing with Tony and Rich, but they need to leave, or hell, go on a sabbatical for a little moment, because those two brothers right there, and it's sad because for Tony, I was riding with him because I still don't understand why the hell Tony wants to be with Danny. Danny has done nothing in the time that Tony has been on this show to be compelling to me that this is the woman that you should be, building a life in the future with. It makes absolutely no damn sense.